Okay, barrel or nah number one for this week. Toilet papering someone's house.
Ooh, I'm gonna say barrel. I'm gonna say,
Really?
yeah, this was as a kid, I did it a bunch and it was super fun. I haven't seen a TP'd house for a long while.
Because I think it's really, first of all, TP got crazy, not expensive, but it was a hot commodity. It got crazy scarce there a few years
Yes.
back. And so I think nobody was willing to part with it at that point. But I also think I'm going no barrel. And I think the reason why is, have you ever had to clean it out of the trees in front of your house or
Yeah,
the lawn?
that's what makes it such a funny prank because it's not just looks funny, it's a pain to clean up, but not the worst pain ever. But it does take like a good hour to 2 hours to clean up some teeth.
If somebody has watered, like let's say it misted the night that it got TP'd, or somebody even hosed it down with a, well, hold on, shoot, I accidentally clicked something. Sorry.
No worries.
Um, yeah, if somebody had watered it with a hose after they TP'd it and it like breaks down, the TP actually disintegrates into your lawn or your trees. It is
Oh,
never going away. It is a
no.
complete nightmare and an environmental hazard at that point. You know what I mean? So I am going, not that funny, first of all, completely not original. And somebody would have had to have like slashed my car tires for me to think that this was an equal retribution.
Except for, so here, like if you egg somebody's house, right? Like egg, the compounds in the egg can actually, whatever, fade the paint, right? You make
Yeah.
like that toilet paper, nothing bad is going to happen. It's going to disintegrate in the yard. You're going to have to rake for a while and it's going to be, but it's just the right amount. I think TPing somebody's house is just the right amount malicious without going over the line to be actual damaging. Yes, you're taking some of their time away in the cleanup, but there's no permanent damage. All fine and good.
All right, we're going to remain divided on this one. I can't imagine an enemy that I've loathed so much that I would
That
TP
you would
their
TP.
house.
What about Ricardo Toledo's?
That's your enemy, not mine. Okay. Probably our most prolific contributor of all time, James in San Diego.
Chaz David, James calling in for the grit. Got a barrel or nah, and that is putting multiple produce inside one of the small plastic bags that they have in the produce area. So, should I just have all my avocados in one bag and my peppers in the other bag, or can I put them both in the same bag and conserve on plastic? I appreciate your input. Cheers.
Grocery store etiquette has also become one of the most popular topics.
And I have the answer here entirely and perfectly. Unless absolutely necessary, don't use any of the plastic bags, full stop. Like you put your
Boom,
naked
boom.
produce in your cart, unless you're getting a handful of something, right? Like, for example, beans or peas or whatever, right? Where you can't just put a loose handful in your cart. They have to be in something. So the only thing you use the plastic bag for is something that's not self-contained. So the example of an avocado doesn't need to go in a bag. Strawberries don't
Definitely.
need to go in bags. I mean, if it's in the thing, nothing needs to go into a bag except for like, again, peas and beans and things like that.
Like you get a dozen limes, those get a
Yeah.
little unwieldy in your basket without a
Yes.
bag. So I'd put a dozen limes in a bag. But I agree with you. For years and years, I came to this conclusion long ago where it was like this couple of apples, they don't need to be in a bag.
No,
An eggplant, I don't know, a couple. I don't buy jalapenos more than two or three at a time. They don't need to be in a bag together. I can
nothing needs to be
handle
in a bag.
very, very few things need to be in a
Yeah.
bag. And again, environmental nightmare to have that many bags that are going to go from, into waste. Um,
And what are you worried?
and
I wonder, are they worried about the cleanliness? Do they want to take
I,
their avocado and then put it in a plastic bag to make sure that it doesn't become tainted by stuff?
so the avocado has a shell on it that you're going to
Yeah.
dispose of. I think they're more worried about things like an apple, let's say. But that's a stupid worry because the apple's out here exposed. It traveled here, it was exposed. It's sitting in the grocery store exposed. You're going to take it out of the bag, it's going to be exposed in your house. You know what I mean? So
I mean, And once you grab that apple too, all you're exposing that apple to is you and your stuff. You're exposing it to the
Exactly.
other food you're going to eat. You're exposing it to your car, and then you're covered at home.
Yeah. So the 1% of the apple's life that is you putting it into a bag and that bag making it into your house is not protecting it from anything at all.
Exactly.
So, so
No
do
bag.
not use those produce bags unless you're trying to contain something unwieldy.
Exactly.
A handful of beans, as Chaz once said. Are you buying beans?
Well, no, you see those string beans at the every so often I'll
Oh,
buy a string. I should have qualified with the
I
string
was
bean.
thinking about the like they do have those like kegs full of lentils, or
Yeah,
not
no,
even like a hard
that
bean that
a
you need to
bean. Yeah,
cook,
no,
you know?
no. And I never
Okay.
get. I never. The only beans that I ever cook come in a can.
Right. Yeah, no, I had visions of you um collecting lima beans and going home and making a stew for some
Yeah,
reason.
no,
I
no,
was
no.
like,
I'm
oh,
really.
Chaz is up to bean stew? Who
Yeah,
knew?
no, that's gross.
All right, final barrel or not. Wireless AirPods.
Ooh, barrel.
I'm,
Uh,
I'm
I'm barrel
go.
because as a runner, the wire is hard. But and I'm maybe uh to barrel here, I just got the most amazing pair. I've been an Apple AirPod guy for a long time, just because the seamlessness of back in the day, remember when it used to be really hard to connect stuff with Bluetooth? Like
Totally.
you had to jump through, like I felt multiple hoops, and it was like felt like magic if it was even going to ever work, if it was ever going to
Yeah.
actually connect. And
Yeah.
so the seamlessness, but now I've realized that basically all Bluetooth things will seamlessly connect more or less. Like you search it, you hit it, maybe you have to download another app for it. All to say though, I got a pair of Bose earbuds. They don't even go in your ear anymore. They're epic. They wrap around the back of your ear like an ear cuff, and there's no thing sticking down in your ear, so you don't get tired of them. And it's like the most beautiful sound that's just like playing in your ear.
What?
Yeah, it's
It
really weird.
doesn't go into the canal or
No, it doesn't
the
go at
cup of your
all.
ear?
It doesn't go. It's like sits on the outside here. Sits on the outside of your
So
ear.
can other people hear it?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I don't think so. I think they figured it out somehow to just like, but it's like sounds like a concert in your ear because it's not like stuffed in there. It's just like free flowing through there. I don't know how it works, but it's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mind is blown.
Mine was too. I was like, kept trying. I was like, these things don't fit because I kept trying to stuff them into my canal. And I was like, I'll just give up and we'll see how it sounds. It was like blown away. The crystal clarity, the Bose AirPod.
How expensive?
Well, it came as a gift for the wife, I think, for some work she had done I can't remember for what, but I Googled them. I liked them so much. I thought these are amazing. So they're $300.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a spendy.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Okay.
spendy earbud.
Well, good news is I was anti. I'm already I'm no barrel on the wireless portion already. So now I was already against buying these before I even knew about them. But I'm done with the wireless AirPods. I don't know why. I just when they introduced them, I was like, oh, clearly
This is what you have to do.
I'm sold. Yeah, this is the modern progress. So I am now moving on to wireless AirPods. That was years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I've never been happy with them. And if you lose one, you can't replace just one. You got to buy. They're super expensive.
Yep.
They uh nothing bounces more unpredictably than an AirPod.
Yeah.
One will pop out of my ear, it hits the ground, it's gone.
You have
Like, and
no
then
idea where it went.
I find it 32 feet away under something, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how did it get over there? Like, what in the world? It never could have gone. A Super Ball doesn't bounce that
Yeah.
far. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it is
Yeah.
shocking. Nothing is more expensive and has ever been smaller. That's another problem. Um,
It's an extra
this
thing to
week,
charge. It's a
extra thing to charge.
you have a
It falls
whole
out. It actually doesn't stick in my ear like it's supposed to.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I
those ones
mean?
are not good. I mean, this Bose one I was anti too. I was ready to go back to the spaghetti. And you saw Eric Logan's big to Instagram spiel about we're doing spaghetti, or whatever. We're back. Wires are back. He did a whole Eric Logan must be somewhat insane. It's like Wild to me that he ever got a job. I mean, he must be like mentally insane because he went on to Instagram and did a whole spiel about wires are back. Like anyone knew what he was talking about. He was had his wire. It's like wires are back, everybody. Wires are back. And he started
So
talking
is
about
this like a trend?
who knows? No, the
Oh,
wires.
okay.
It was just Eric being slightly mentally off. But in any case, yes, but I think there is, to Eric's point, wires being back. I think there is a movement back to wired stuff. A, because the charging. B, because they work better. They're like wife does all of her calls with the old school, like just whatever the one where you have the little microphone there
Yeah,
and the wire is wired in, never dies. You're
I'm
fine.
going back.
I would have if I hadn't been introduced to these Bose, but also for running. The wire less, but the AirPod when I was running would my ear would get sweaty and then it would fall, and so I'd be running the entire time, pressing it back in, like
Exactly.
every 4 steps, pressing it in. But this Bose thing, man, it's like a new paradise.
Apple's been pretty good at like engineering things that are better versions than other things, but the AirPod, wireless AirPod, I think is total misstep. I never asked for it. Wires were totally fine by me all along. Sounds like Bose one-upped Apple in this scenario, which is good for them.
Yep.
But Lauren was vacuuming. She took her car to get washed and she was vacuuming. She had forgotten that she left one earbud in the cup holder and
Oh,
just got in with a
yeah.
vacuum. And like the moment she put the vacuum in the cup holder, realized the mistake she had made and then heard it get sucked up. And it's like, what do you do at that point? You go ask the lowly car wash employee to
Get
dig through the vacuum filth to find your one. And even if they find it, you want to put that back in your ear?
it's a
No, you just
real
lost $150.
down
You
the
know?
drain, right in the
Yeah.
vacuum, as they say.
You, you know what would never happen with is wires. You
Yeah,
would have had a tether that you could have pulled that back and saved it.
exactly. Oh man, yeah, technology.
All right. Well, anybody who wants to get me a Christmas gift, those Bose earbuds sound like an amazing Christmas
It's
gift.
worth it. It's worth it.